Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and we are pleased to be joined by the ARCA Menard series, wizard, chief, PR director, whatever you want to call him. Sometimes we call him other things, but we won't go there. Charlie Krall is here checking in for talk about, the ARCA Menard series. How's it going?
It's going very well, Casey. Thanks for having me on.
What a weekend we had at Talladega for the ARCA Menard series, and it was a really good race. I think it, compared to, honestly, compared to last year's race, this was very entertaining.
Yeah, last year, don't forget, we were coming out of the pandemic. It was the first race back, and I think everyone was more concerned about just getting the race in than getting out and competing to win and really making some bold moves. But yeah, this year was great. We had 13 lead changes among 6 drivers, 4 cautions, some action on the racetrack. We saw a lot of the underdog teams running up near the front, which always makes me happy. And how about that last lap, that finish? I think we had 4 or 5 different drivers on that last lap that had things shaken out a little differently, could have won that thing. So I'm extremely happy with the entertainment level that we had at Talladega on Saturday, and even more happy that we were able to just get the race in. Weather was not our friend throughout the week. So everybody did a great job getting the track ready. Teams did a great job with their race cars and put on a pretty decent race.
Okay, so I want to clear something up with a lot of people. A lot of people were talking about about the famous one lap shootout. To clarify, it was not an overtime restart. It was the scheduled distance, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So I'm going to show you something here.
Okay.
Right there. I've got it. This is the wording from the rule book.
Okay.
If the race distance is extended, the race will go into overtime. This is for a single attempt finish. Overtime will consist of 1 attempt at a green-white flag on the restart, followed by the checkered flag. Once the leader has received the white flag at the start-finish line, the next flag will end the race. If the caution lights are illuminated and or the yellow flag is displayed, the field is frozen in the vehicle's respective track position, provided the vehicles return to the start-finish line to complete their lap without assistance, while maintaining a reasonable speed considering track conditions. So whether or not we went into overtime, it was going to be a 1-lap dash, regardless, based on what our rule calls for at Daytona and Talladega. But we hadn't even been in overtime yet. So if the caution came out on that final lap, we wouldn't have gone into overtime because the white flag had already been shown. But yeah, whenever we can, we're going to finish, within the advertised distance. So, and that's what we did. That's just at Daytona and Talladega. I think everybody remembers a couple of years ago at Daytona, we had, 4 or 5 attempts at a green, white, checkered. And it was, I think it added on another hour to the race time.
Yeah.
So, and the race teams have come to us and said, look, we just tear up too much stuff. And we are in agreement with that. So we limit it to a 1-lap dash and 1 try at it. And everybody seems to be pretty happy with it.
Now regarding the if a race does have to go to overtime and at the other types of tracks, is it similar there?
Nope, unlimited attempts at a green, white, checkered. If the caution flag comes out after the white flag, then we will do a 1-lap dash. But yeah, it's unlimited everywhere else.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I just wanted to clear that up for everybody because there was a lot of confusion over that, and it's like, why are we only doing a 1-lap shootout? So
right. Well, there you have it.
Well, yeah, thank you. Thanks for doing that. So we're going into, we've had, I think, a lot of people thought that Ty would just, run away with everything, but apparently it's Corey Heim who has 2 wins and is leading the points over Drew Dollar, who isn't even scheduled to run the full season, Kyle C., who isn't even scheduled to run the full season. How impressed are you with Corey Heim?
Well, I was always impressed with Corey, dating back to 2019 when he came and ran, partial season with us with Chad Bryant Racing. He's always been good. I'm not at all surprised that he's running as well as he's running with the Venerini team. Um, I'm the only reason that these two are separated in the points is Ty got caught up in someone else's mess on Saturday. No fault of his own. It actually wasn't even really the fault of Greg Van Alst either. He was kind of minding his own business and got a tap and got sent out of control. So, that happens at places like Daytona and Talladega. And unfortunately, it happened to Greg Van Alst in both of those races. He really was just out there logging laps and minding his business and got taken out. Same thing with, you saw it happen early in the race with Gracie Trotter. She got, side slammed by somebody there who was doing a little bump drafting, and, she came out on the short end of that stick. So, I'm very, very impressed with Ty this year. I'm impressed with Corey Heim. I was very, very impressed yesterday. And he's 65 years old, but how about Dave Mader? What can you say? He stayed out of trouble all day long, put himself in position on that final lap to get a run. And I think if he would have had about a tenth of a second more of a push from behind there on that last lap coming off of turn 4, we'd be talking about him going to victory lane. And how cool would that have been? 29 years, 10 months, and 2 days following his one and only ARCA Menard Series career victory at Michigan. He was looking for career win number 2. I confess I was cheering for him a little bit there on that final lap. What a great story that would have been.
I think we all were cheering for Dave. For Dave, he's 65 years old, and this is. He said it in I think the post-race Zoom. He said, "This is for all the old people out there." People over 60 are doing some great things. Look at John Force.
He's over 70. Yeah,
he is, and he still thinks he's got a lot. I think he's still got a lot in him. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So the ARCA Menard Series is going to Kansas Speedway. For the first and something unique with Kansas this year. We're not going there not once but twice. What are we going to expect at ARCA's first mile and a half?
Well, we're going to see, the same cast of characters up near the front that we normally do. Ty is going to be tough to beat. Corey Heim is going to be tough to beat. Drew Dollar will be there. Gracie Trotter will be there. We can expect them to run good and run up near the front. I think we'll see a pretty calm race. It's a 100 lapper, 150 miles. It'll be a pretty clean show, I think. And, this is where we'll start to see those regular teams, the championship contenders, kind of get in their groove and go about their business. And it's going to be tough to beat the 18 and the 20, but not to say that it can't be done. I'm hoping that a guy like Greg Van Alst can come and get the finish that he deserves. He's had some really good runs at Daytona and Talladega, as we were just talking about, and they've gone away through no fault of his own. So, I hope he can come and have a good run and have some fun and put a period on that one and do it, in style rather than, on the back of a record. But I think we'll have a pretty good competitive race. I'm hoping. I haven't looked at the weather forecast, but I hope it's a great weather day because you've got all kinds of racing there at Kansas Speedway on Saturday.
Of course, the Truck Series follows the ARCA Menard Series. So, one driver we forgot to mention, Nick Sanchez. He finished third.
How about Nick Sanchez? Career best finish. He's had a rough start to the year. Got caught up in a crash at Daytona. Got taken out by another driver's mistake there at Phoenix, and he's had really good fast race cars, just hasn't been able to finish to get to the end. And I thought Nick was going to be in position to fight for that victory there on the final lap too. So I was kind of puzzled he and Brett Holmes didn't hook up on that final restart. But I think when you're talking one lap to make it happen, you don't really start thinking about, hey, how can I help someone else. You're more about what can I do for myself. So, but I think it would have been a little different if they were able to get together and hook up and go to the front.
Also, I just actually we just got off and talked to the new ARCA Menard series voice this season. Of course, Jamie Little for FS1. How do you those broadcasts are fun, and FS1 has been doing a pretty good job this season. What's it been like having Jamie on the ARCA team?
I think Jamie is great. She's very dedicated to her craft. She wants to know everything there is to know about, what is going on in our world. We had a Zoom with all of the drivers last Monday that was, 3 hours long, and she was on it the whole time. She was engaged. She really does want to get to know these people and get to know their stories and be able to tell them, competently and have all the information. She's doing a great job. I want people to give her a little bit of a break. She's only ever been play-by-play 2 times. It's vastly different than what she does down on pit road. So, that's why, just like that's why Ty Gibbs is in the ARCA Menard series. He's here to learn and get better. And, same thing here with Jamie. She's here to learn and get better at what she's doing with the play-by-play. I thought she's done a very nice job the first 2 races. I do. I think it brings a lot of eyeballs for us. I think it's a lot of people are paying attention to us that might not have been if not for Jamie up in the booth. So, and I've told her several times already here this season, I really am here to help make her look good. And I'm really enthusiastic that she's on these shows. She's been great so far.
Yeah, of course, you got one of the best in the business, so right next to her. If she ever needs any help with this series, of course, I'm talking about Phil Parsons. So.
All right, Phil Parsons is one of my favorite people in the world. Phil is a longtime friend of my family and someone who I know if I ever needed anything, I could call him and he would go to bat for me. And Phil has got such a great memory of what he has seen and done in the sport, and to have access to that, for our TV shows is just phenomenal.
Yeah. All right. Charlie, thank you so much for coming on and talking about the ARCA Menard series, and good luck, and enjoy some ARCA racing in Kansas.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me, Casey.